job. Y'all sound so good.
Hey team, good morning. I'm in Christchurch rather than Auckland. So yesterday was Friday and I took the day off work and flew down, spent the day with Grace. We went to Ahoka farmers markets to start off with. I'd never been there before, so that was really cool. Explored all the different stalls there. They had food, plants, knickknacks, all the usual stuff. Then we went to two different shops, as in like malls. Checked them out, went for a stroll. I got this little like butter yellow linen dress, just as like something nice to wear for the baby shower today, because they don't know whether they're having a boy or girl, so I thought yellow was nice and neutral. And then last night we went to Maren Morris, and that was really, really cool. So that was the main reason why I came down. I bought tickets to Maren Morris for Grace's birthday, which is next week. And so yeah, spent the night doing that. She was great live, really awesome voice live. Sometimes you go see these artists live and you're like, oh, you were definitely better recorded. But no, she was fantastic. And we had seated spots and it was at Christchurch Town Hall. So awesome venue. In classic form, whenever you get, I don't know about you guys, but whenever I get concert tickets and they're seated, people always inevitably stand up in front of you and like do a little dance in front of you and block your view the whole time. Personally, that's a pet peeve. You buy a seated seat, sit. But aside from that, that's just me being a grump. It was a really lovely evening. And then this morning after a little bit of a lie-in, we got up, got ourselves a coffee and went to the dog park with Grace's dog Dizzy. I went for a stroll, came back, had a bit of brekkie and just slowly getting ready before we head off for the baby shower this afternoon. Hey team, how's it all going? I have just returned from a reformer jump board class this morning, and I put the outfit that I bought from Click recently to the test. So that was a singlet, the sports bra underneath, and then the long length brown tights and the reformer socks. First time I've actually worn sticky reformer socks or, those things to a natural reformer class, and it does make a difference. I think I spend a lot more time thinking about like stability and whether my socks are gripping. And what I would do is like grab this like sticky or like, I guess a sticky mat. Anyway, a mat thing that they have on the reformer beds and putting it under my feet if I'm a little worried about it. Long story short, socks are great. So that's what I've been doing this morning. And I have returned home and now felt slightly overwhelmed about just how messy this house is. Yesterday I wrote like this huge list out. I'll see if I can sort of like show you guys. Wrote this huge list out of everything I need to get done. And I managed to actually get through quite a bit of it, which was the purple highlighted one. So I renewed some memberships, sorted out some budgeting things. I uploaded the last vlog that I did, which was when Olivia and Ben were here over the long weekend and we went to Costco. We went out for lunch. What else did we do? I went to Hobbycon with Gordon as well. So it's a bit of a mix in that one. I also filmed yesterday the sort of haul unboxing of me getting all the Click gear. So that was a good amount of sort of YouTube admin stuff sort of sorted. Did the supermarket shop. When I came back, I like wiped out the fridge, and put it all away. Ordered some more things like magnesium and some more Calvin Klein underwear because I feel like I'm constantly washing Calvin Klein underwear. I don't know why the brand matters, but I'm constantly trying to feel like I have enough undies for the week. So I bought a massive 7-pack, which made them like less than $10 each, which is an absolute bargain for those. And the mattress protectors we have on both of our beds. We have 2 spare rooms, but there's only one bed in one of the spare rooms. They were half price at Briscoe's. So I was like, stuff it, I'll just buy them while they're at half price. And then I can throw out the ones that we have on our beds currently because they're a little bit just like, they're kind of like floppy and then it's like not tight and they're old. So chuck them out, get new ones. But the plan for today is to reset the house in its entirety because I just want to feel all organized for the week ahead. I did a majority of the washing and sheets yesterday, but there's a little bit more to do today. So I'll finish that up. I want to vacuum the house, clean the bathroom, scrub the toilets and stuff. I will spare filming that and showing you guys. You don't want to see that, like who does? And then of course I've got lunch prep, meal prep. If I get round to putting air in my tires, that would be a good little task to do, but I'm only going to do that if I'm out and about in the car anyway. Otherwise it seems like a waste of petrol. But yeah, and there's a million one little tiny jobs that I have in between. I also need to do the ironing, which is my least favourite job. But sort of a okay task to do if there's something on the TV. So maybe I'll try and like double stack that by watching something and ironing. Yeah. I figured before I go cleaning the kitchen and wiping down all the benches and then having to redo that task, I would just do my meal prep for the apple stew that I make most weeks now, just so it's, you know, I don't have to go doing things twice. Like that seems inefficient. So last weekend I actually was down in Christchurch celebrating my friend Grace's birthday. We went out and saw a Maren Morris concert, who is an American singer. She normally, or in previous albums, has sung quite like country-ish vibe, but she kind of sort of leans a little bit pop as well. So the majority of the concert was for her new album, but I didn't know, neither did Grace, know that one quite as well, but it was really, really nice to just get out of the house, do something fun, and it was at the Christchurch Town Hall, which is a beautiful, beautiful venue. I've always adored that venue. So that's what we did on the Friday evening. I took work off on Friday, so we just had a bit of a girl day, looking around the shops and hanging out with one another and catching up. And then Saturday we had Grace's baby shower, so that was a great day, sort of being able to catch up with a few mates I hadn't seen in a while, and her sister. I did a bit of filming, but there wasn't enough there to sort of dedicate a whole vlog to it, and it was like somebody else's baby shower, obviously, so I didn't want to go make it all about me. That's so not the vibe. So yeah, that was last weekend. While I was in Christchurch, Grace and I also ended up, just out of coincidence, FaceTiming like our high school group of gal pals that we've been friends since high school, like ages. But we all live in different places now. Shout out to Christina, who loves watching these vlogs, and I love that you love them, in Brisbane, and Ellen in Melbourne. So it was really nice having a wee FaceTime with them, even if it was brief, and seeing what they're all up to. For those who might not have seen that previous vlog where I prepped this last time, and I prep it most weekends, all I add, once I've done about 5-6 apples, depending on the size, is just some cinnamon, eyeball it, and a little bit of vanilla essence. That is it. No sugar, no nothing. The sugar sort of comes out of the apples themselves. Sort of fill it up to about there with water, and then give it a little bit of a stir, and then leave it for a few hours. It's been a few hours, and the lounge is significantly tidier than it was before. I have also just had a quick shower, and then scrub the loo. I will spare you the footage of that, and spray down the shower. And I've also put a new load of washing out and brought some of the dry stuff in. And now the goal is to just finish prepping the apple and then tackle the massive basket of laundry I have staring at me right now, and then one of two of the cupboards, whether that's the kitchen one or the linen cupboard. So I'll show you where the apple puree has gotten to so far. The puree is looking a little something like this. Because I didn't use Granny Smith apples, I used a red apple that was just on sale. They are sort of a lot lumpier, which is totally fine, but I'm just going to quickly blitz this in the NutriBullet, and then it should be good to go as an easy grab and go puree to have on the top of my prepped breakfast every morning, the overnight oats. This is a pretty old NutriBullet, but it will definitely do the job, and it's significantly less washing up than my lovely big KitchenAid food processor. As like more practical as that would be, the admin of washing that is a pain in the butt. So I'm going to be trying to fit it all in here. So bear with, this might look messy while I try and shove it into this container. Oh, perfect size spoon. It's the little things as an adult, isn't it? Perfect. literally the quickest blitz, otherwise it's going to just turn into like a smoothie. Maybe one more. Perfect. And so now that is totally good to pop in a wee container and just dollop on top. Easy. The camera actually died on me whilst I was doing the remainder of that time lapse. So gave it a wee charge and I figured I'd show you the finished product. Ta-da! All tidy. Nothing too mind-blowing, but it was good to be able to clear out a few things, and there was a few boxes in there that I was able to chuck out in the garden shed. So absolute win as far as I'm concerned, and I could tick that one off the old mental list. I now need to like lock myself in this room and make myself finish this. Otherwise it'll sit there all week and I'll keep guilting myself. So I figured while I was tackling this big pile, although I'd say 80% of that is sheets, so that's slightly different type of folding, I would talk to you about my Oura ring. That's my Oura ring. Classic YouTube go up close to show the camera vibe. I bought it about 2 years ago now, so I feel like I'm well experienced to have a little chit chat about it. The Oura ring itself is super helpful if you're just trying to keep track of basic things like you can set it to 10,000 steps. So if that's a goal that you're working towards every day, that's how I've got mine set up. It's also interesting just how many days you think you would easily do 10,000 and you don't even hit 7. Or other days where you don't even really think you've done that much walking and then you've done like 12. It's just like weird. But anyway, so that's always interesting. I also really enjoy the sleep function, mostly just to check how much deep sleep, how much sleep, especially if like I've been having interrupted sleep. But the most important factor or feature, I should probably be folding, for me is the temperature. And so I use, as a gal, I use the, what's it called? Clue. It's called the Clue app. I tried a few different apps and my friends had different recommendations. I know Flow's another popular one, but Clue for me was my favorite. And I believe it works for both of the apps, but you can get your Oura ring to sync to that app. So it pulls through automatically your temperature overnight and whether there's any fluctuations in that. And over the last few years, I've been really trying to work out what is my normal. So the Oura ring has really helped with that because it's been able to track my temperatures and therefore form a lot more pattern recognition with it all. So it feels less of a surprise, or I can at least give myself a sort of mental heads up that, hey, maybe next week I am going to be feeling like utter shit. And unfortunately, that's just life. Both cost, or you can choose to go on like a premium upgraded package for them to get more info. I think I did like a trial for Clue, and then on the last, I need to put that on a coat hanger, and then on the last like day or whatever I went to go cancel it, and then it offered me like a stupid crazy discount to pay for the whole year up front, like $17 for the whole year when normally it was like 20 something a month, like ridiculous. So it's kind of encourages you to be like, oh yeah, well, why not? And then you do it. So I'd recommend doing that before you just think you have to go paying the full amount. The other feature that I think is really interesting for the Oura ring is the fact that it can detect when you're getting sick. And I don't know about anybody else, but I am a shocker for being completely in denial when I know I'm getting sick and just running myself ragged. but it does this thing called, I think, symptom radar, and basically it'll just pay attention to the fact that your heart rate's been elevated, or actually, to be honest, I don't know how the heck it works it out, but it's always very scarily accurate when it knows you're getting sick. And for me, that's good because you can also put it in rest mode. So any of the goals you had set, like walking 10k steps a day or whatever, it turns that off, and all it wants you to do is rest, which is great. I have noted that they do really good sales over Boxing Day. So obviously that's a wee way. It's far away now, but it'll come around quick. And they did it when I bought it on a Boxing Day, and I know that Boxing Day just gone. Mind you, it is February now. That they also had a really decent sale. It's quite often on the older version of the ring rather than the most recent. Mine's I'll put a little screenshot, but mine, I believe, is the 3rd or 4th edition. It means that the profile is like slightly larger on the finger. I'll bring my hand closer. Ooh. Means that the profile on the ring is like slightly thicker, but to be honest, it's fine and it's manageable. And the only time that I found it kind of got in the way was when I was doing boxing classes 2 years ago, and I didn't want my boxing wraps to then rub up against the ring and then have your glove on top of that, and then you're like punching the bag, and I didn't want to break the ring. That's the only time I found the ring sort of an inconvenience. Or I would assume if you're lifting quite a lot of large floor bar weights. The only sort of weights I deal with now are kettlebells and dumbbells. I don't do any like lifting weights at the gym at the moment, and obviously Pilates doesn't really require much lifting of the hands or pressure on your hands. So yeah, they recommend for you to wear it on your pointer finger. When you first order it, you get a size kit with all the different, it's like a plastic ring. Actually, let me show you the size kit. Classic millennial, keeping the box for everything. So here is the box that I got the Oura ring in. So before I wasn't sure which generation I had, but it's a generation 3, and I got it in gold, obviously. It comes in black, a sort of silvery color. I think there's a rose gold. The standard sort of colors for these things. I think they have since released like a ceramic version, which comes out in a bunch of different colors. But for me, gold matches my jewelry, and it just sort of makes sense. So when you first order it, you'll get the size kit, and you're encouraged to put on a size for a day and then see how comfortable it is. Didn't mean to flip the bird at the camera. They do recommend you put it on this finger, but I found that sort of like it rubbed too much on things, and like when I was typing, it annoyed me. So I decided to put it on my middle finger, and I find that far less sort of disruptive on my day. I ended up wearing a size 9. That was the most comfortable for me. The goal is to have it tight enough so that it doesn't fall off your finger, but obviously not too tight that you can't bend your finger or lose blood to your finger. And so PSA to any of my friends who are thinking about it, more than welcome to try out this kit just to save you the step of having to order the size box. That's the size kit, that's the box, that's my Oura ring, and that's my thoughts. Okay, now to finish the rest of this washing, because I've just found an excuse to stop folding, haven't I? Does anybody really know how to fold a fitted sheet? Actually, I might go that way around. My technique is to just sort of wrestle with it until it sort of resembles something of a square.